name's Brett Sheldon. I'm the founder of the business support organisation. For today's video intro, I thought I'd actually change the video around. People normally see the other side of the room, so this is the bit I'm normally looking at, which is the Sheldon family rogues gallery. So you've got my kids and Emma on there, those on top of the Great Hall. But anyway, back to the actual video itself, meet and greet events. So we normally hold 2 to 3 of these per month, a very, very, very simple format, which is using breakout rooms strategically to allow members of the BSO to engage. Instead of just giving people to talk though for 13, 14 minutes, I actually give them a topic. They have no idea what the topic is, which normally means it can be quite fun. So those questions can, in some cases, be deadly serious, some much more light-hearted, and we have the usual BSO style where we basically encourage people to have fun and we don't allow political correctness. So anything could really happen. In the middle of this one video, there is a beep which is going to be censored, not because of the language being used, but there's actually a bit of a trade secret that was actually given out at one point. So don't be alarmed when you come to that. And also you won't be able to see what happens in the breakout rooms themselves. The video is made up of the comments beforehand, afterwards. So hopefully you enjoy it, and if you do want to come along to one properly, go to our website and have a quick look at what videos are coming up. But enjoy the video. Speak to you soon.
Back into the same position I was before we started that. Just to start the meeting off, there's going to be a few people here who are going to be a little bit confused about what we're doing. So the meet and greet meeting is basically our attempt at replicating what used to happen when we could actually go and see people. So when we went to open networking, we'd all stand around. We'd obviously, you'd all talk to different people, talk about different things, pass business cards, and generally talk about stuff. So a number of months ago, probably about 6 months or so ago now, Michelle, Val, something like that, about 6 months ago, we did this one for the first time. We discovered this way of working purely by mistake, and we developed it from there, and it's become the thing that we all know and love now. So go with the flow. It's a case of it'll be quite self-explanatory after the first room and move into, and we go from there. But all we're going to be doing is splitting people up into breakout rooms and giving you things to talk about. So to make the meeting work, there are going to be today 5 rooms. So these 5 rooms will be rooms of 3, 4, or 5 people, and we're going to try across 4 rooms to try and get you in contact with at least 10, hopefully 12 people. That's the theory behind it, and we need people to look after those rooms. So I've picked these people at random. Some people haven't done it before, some people have, so there's a bit more of experience, etc. So Dean, you haven't done this before. If you'd like to look after one of the rooms, same as Lisa Billingham. I don't think you've done this before, so we're going to ask you to do it. Michelle Coombs, you've done it a few times. If you can look after one, Val. I think you had a couple of weeks off, so you're back into it now. But
Thanks, Val.
No, well, we've actually given Adam the week off, and we've also got Charlotte the week off looking after rooms. So the final person we're going to ask to do this is Viral. Wherever Viral's gone to, where's he gone? Viral, wave. There you are. So Viral, if you can look after a room as well. So for the purpose of those who haven't been on this before, the people who look after the rooms have 3 responsibilities. First of all is to make sure people introduce themselves. Conscious on here that we've got Zoe as a visitor. Jason, you're visiting today as well, so obviously very, very welcome. Jason Hughes, welcome. Obviously you jumped on a little bit late there, not a problem, mate. I think you've only been to one of these before, so you wouldn't have met many of the members yet. And Tony, I think this is your first online meeting with us. Obviously you used to come to virtually everything we used to do face to face, but it's great to see you obviously back up and around, mate, compared to when I last spoke to you.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's so everything's working there. So I need to set up the breakout rooms. So what we're going to do is try and make sure we don't duplicate anything. It takes a little bit of organising from my end. Adam, because you're not looking after a room today, can you fill in for literally 2 to 3 minutes? Ask somebody some question or something like that. Get a bit of engagement. Remember, we are recording it, so off the back of that, you may want to watch your language, Paul.
What's the other 2 jobs, Brett?
I really want to pick a question now that will get Paul going.
Oh, sorry. The other
Adam, behave.
So the other 2 jobs is making sure that people basically introduce each other.
Yeah.
Everybody takes part. So obviously make sure everybody gets involved, and you will need to fill feedback. Because we've got the 5 rooms, and I'm conscious of time, you will need to feed back in about 40 to 60 seconds.
Okay.
So keep things quite concise. off the back of it. Okay, so Adam, if you can, like I say, just quickly fill in while I set up the rooms.
Okay. Poll question then. Which do we think is the best social media platform?
Ooh, contentious.
I know. And I've set Paul up perfectly here.
Do you know what? I love them all equally. There are no favourites.
I feel like that's a lie.
Do you know what? The personal, my favourite has got to be Facebook for the sheer entertainment value. Business, it does work as well for Facebook ads. Business, you've got to use LinkedIn. You've absolutely got to use LinkedIn. However, there's a surge now of people getting more into Instagram. There's more into Instagram. Twitter is kind of like the stats behind it are waning, so they're coming up with updates and new things to make it more user friendly. You're going to see now in a lot of the platforms, if you use automated tools, it's going to tell people the account is an automated one. Twitter, especially Twitter, if you use automated scheduling tools to automate your content, Twitter is going to tell people that the account is run by a bot. So they're trying to get to it. It's Twitter's way of trying to get people to come onto the site more and not use third-party tools. So if you're looking at, if you currently use third-party tools, that is a big wave in the market. A lot of these third-party tools like Hootsuite and all the rest are again a bit worried, because if Twitter implement this and it tells the accounts that they're bots, you can bet your bottom dollar the rest are going to follow. They're going to copy it and go, right, we want more people physically to come to the site, so we're going to tell everyone if they're run by a bot account.
Right, hang on a second, Paul. Adam, pick on somebody who isn't in marketing.
I was trying to get Paul to swear, but he did really well there. Let's go with, let's have a look. Vicky, what's yours?
What's mine? I like Instagram. I'm visual. I like Instagram.
Okay, so that's one of the vote for Instagram. Jason.
Hey, yeah. Well, I actually do like Twitter. I like the Twitter hours. They've been very successful for me. The local Twitter hours, and also LinkedIn's working.
Cool. Lovely. Lisa?
Which Lisa?
You. That worked.
My favourite.
I'm so glad I kept quiet. Yeah, go on.
That was quite easy, wasn't it?
My favourite is Pinterest. For use wise, I absolutely love using Pinterest. LinkedIn is probably, I would say, the best one for me, and closely followed by Twitter.
Cool. Okie dokie. So I'll get everything set up. Adam, thank you very much for filling in there. Actually, I did forget to get to tell people the BSO rules, that you basically have to be prepared to have fun, and we don't allow political correctness, which is probably just our way of saying anything may happen. Things do go wrong, and you know what? We just go with it. So we're going to open the rooms in a second. We have a question to start off with, which is it's going to be fun. And it is for Adam's benefit. It is a COVID question, Adam. We haven't had one all year.
All right, see you all next week.
It's okay, Adam. That's the reason why we got you out of a breakout room. So all it is that lockdown has been extended. But when do you think it's all going to end? And when do you think the group gatherings will be allowed? Perhaps face-to-face networking? When do you think all this is going to happen? And even if you can do it, would you go? So you've got 13 minutes each room. There's 3 rooms of 3, 2 rooms. Sorry, 3 rooms of 4, 2 rooms of 3, and I'll be jumping into one of those other rooms. So everything's open now. I'll see you all shortly.
Wow, that was a big pop.
That's it. I got everybody cheered up now, haven't I? Here we go. So it's right. Okay, if that's the bit I absolutely hate, because I close the breakout rooms, go back to wait, and thinking,
nobody's coming.
Nobody loves me.
Is that 15 seconds? Is it 20 seconds? Is it 25? Is it 30? That's got to be about a minute. Have I closed the meeting by mistake? Anyway, so hopefully that's got people starting talking. I know I've cheered absolutely everybody up off this one. So start feeding back on this one quite quickly. Otherwise, I've got no chance at all of getting this finished on time. So we're going to go to Dean first. Dean, if you would like to quickly feedback, if you may.
Yeah, no problem. So it was my first breakout room, so I was quite pleased with how it went to start with. So just blow me on trumpet there. But general consensus, we don't really see the light at the end of the tunnels there at the moment. It's going to be a long way off before we get any kind of normality. The general consensus as far as would we go back to a face-to-face event, we're kind of on the fence. We had a couple of definite no's, simply because this format has worked so well for many of us. We did have a certainly yes, because we're missing out on that face-to-face interaction.
Yep.
So it's a bit of a yay or nay. We're not quite sure, but I think really realistically, what we all came to was a case of we should work. Maybe when it does happen, we should keep this as a format as well as maybe the face-to-face. But the general thing is a bit worried about when it does happen. You know, is it just going to spike everything up again? So yeah, that's it in a nutshell, I think.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, just to allay anybody's fears, that as soon as when we can actually go face to face. So I'm just sorting out all the rooms again, but if people are wondering what I'm doing, yes, we will still be running lots and lots of virtual ones, and we'll be running hybrid ones as well. So just to allay any fears on that. So yeah, so we're going to go over to we'll go to Michelle next. Michelle.
Cool. So in the room with me, we had Charlotte and Andrew, and we spoke about whether events would be going back on anytime soon or anything like that. So Andrew thinks March is too early, thinks it should be around July and then reopening in August, September. Charlotte was under the impression or thinking that after the schools go, the schools will lead. And if they open up at Easter, the country will fall in line with that. But then we got into this whole cycle of it reoccurring again and the numbers rising.
Yeah.
We were talking about shifting goalposts all the way through and how you would manage the communication of, we're extending the lockdown, we're extending the lockdown, extending the lockdown. And the communications, I think it was pretty group consensus. I can't think of the word I need because I'm short on time, but the communications were awful. People are getting impatient. Andrew was telling us about the curfew at 6 in France, where people actually end up in jail if they break the rules. And we talked about the stats and not being convinced on the measures. And then the questions we were asking was, when we go out, Charlotte was, do I actually want to go out again? So yeah, and there were some of us that have actually quite adapted to it. So the thing that Andrew missed most was football. And but yeah, and it's making people see life a lot simpler.
Fantastic, excellent stuff. We'll now go to we'll go to Val. Val?
Yeah, ours were similar, really. Looking at herd immunity being the key to us getting back into things. John reckoned we needed to wait until we get 80% of people immune, as it were. I think that Jason reckoned that we would have a blended approach that would happen. But again, everybody believed it would be August onwards, although March is looking like the first stage with the schools. It would be August before it would be sensible to do anything. And whilst everybody was relatively happy to mix on a business perspective where they would be in control, the social side of things would be something that would be individual to each person.
Okay, brilliant. Lisa?
Ours was quite mixed, to be honest. Very much covered what everybody else has said. But there's a general opinion that these sort of things don't like to be discussed in these kinds of meetings. And a mixed opinion of when this is going to end. We got as far as next year, but almost the end of next year, like Q3 next year, maybe later in this year. Possibly, I'm a bit on the fence with the timing because I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel, and I don't think many people in my group do either. And would we go back to face-to-face networking? Pretty much the general opinion was yes, although I think with everything else the same, quite a mixed, because this works quite well for most people as well. But obviously we're humans and we miss face-to-face contact. So yes, we would like to, but we'll wait till the scientists tell us we can, basically.
Brilliant. I don't know who that is. Okay, and the final person, Viral? I think, I mean, I jumped into your room at the end, but if you can quickly wrap that up, round that up.
Thank you, Brett. We're in the room with Vicky and Zoe. We started talking about when, and then we moved on to something a little bit deeper, how it was affecting people mentally. Vicky had a great anecdote about her child who's 3 years old and can't go into a building without squirting his hands. So it's affecting him in that way. And Brett was also made a great point that even though it's happened now, it's probably not going to affect us as badly as, say, the 2 generations below, say Vicky's kids, etc., because we're going to be paying for it for a long time. So that's my wrap up.
Cool. So now we've cheered everybody up. Let's get into some of the really serious questions now. I mean, people who are regulars on this. Andrew, I mean, you have. I don't think you've been to many. Have you been to a a meeting group before, Mr. Hope?
Yes, probably my third one, Brett.
Oh, right. Okay. Cool. Excellent. You can tell I'm paying attention. So it's, but obviously, obviously I like trying to start something light-hearted and go to the more serious questions. So we're going to go into the next question now. It's really, really simple. It was actually courtesy of Dave Gill, who's not on here today. And it was a question we didn't have time for in the question time. So, and all it was, a really simple one for you to discuss, is what have you changed in your business over the last 12 months? Something really, really simple. Could be almost anything. I'm going to open the room. So I have 13 minutes again, and I'll jump into one of the rooms of 3. Okay, I'll see you all shortly. Okie dokie. So, crikey, people are coming back already. If you all come back really, really quick, that must mean you all hate each other.
No, Brett, we just had I think our conversation was positive. We just came to a conclusion of where we were. I thought we'd just get ahead of the game. Come to see you as well. We haven't spoken to you properly.
Yeah, well, some people like that, some people don't. Okay, so I think everybody is now back. I see we got 19 of us. That's fantastic. I've only just realised that we actually lost Paul Jones earlier. So he had he's had a connection issue. I've tried to get hold of him. That's the reason I had to jump out of Lisa Billingham's room. Okay, so same as what we did last time. If we can have a little bit of feedback, if we can do it relatively quickly, because I'm a little bit conscious of time. If we can try and finish this around about 11-ish. So I'm going to go to Lisa first of all, if I may, in around 30 seconds. If we quickly round up what happened in your room.
Yep, I've got Don, Brett, myself, and Adam in my room, and all 3 actually, bar me, are doing really, really well from last year. So Brett's discovered that his main key goal is to support people, support businesses. Adam's got his their company have got their marketing right, they've got their message right, so their business has just like flown basically. And Don, with the coaching that he used to do and does now, is realizing the value of actually recording training sessions, because people can watch it infinitum basically into the future, and you can still be teaching people from it. So doing the online stuff has actually meant that his business has grown as well. And for me, I am just getting into that. I want to grow my business, but I need to get my message. So I am the back end of where they are. So I'm going to follow them, watch them, and hopefully do what they do, and I'll get there as well.
Brilliant. Okie dokie. We'll go straight over now to Viral.
Thank you, Brett. I had Paul and Sue in my room. With Paul, he's had a graphic designer. He didn't think he would do that. And with Sue, it's been a change. Even though her instruction comes from the top, it's just been changing, getting appointments and things like that. So the key thing that we found out was, because we're, as business owners, and I know Paul hates this word, so that's why I'm going to use it, we've got to pivot. Instead of deer in the headlights, you've just got to adapt. And you can't really do much about it. So that was the take-home message of the day.
Cool, excellent. We'll go to Dean.
Yeah, so I had Zoe, Andrew, and John in my group. All pretty positive, really. The big one, which is really brave and things happened within, is Zoe's actually started her business during this time. So I think, to be able to do that, I don't think anybody can have much more of a bigger change than that, to be honest. Same consensus from Andrew and John. They're both really working with referral partners and building up the networking and working with other people, to really underpin their business and get their word out. And that kind of led us on to where we're going to move forward with what we're doing. Basically, still doing what has happened over this last year. Now we're trying to develop, we have developed how it works, but more so moving online. And John, believe it or not, is going to really not that far away. He's hoping to go into Australia. So that's a big change. So hopefully, John, I hope that works well for you, mate.
Right, I forgot who's next.
Michelle.
Michelle, please.
Yeah, so we were finding that we were widening our audiences in terms of apps, for example. It would be going from restaurant to fast food, bringing on board new audiences of like estate agents, bringing new customers in that are wanting to move to digital, people wanting to do more with what they've got already, so taking those on. More customers were moving to online, which was great for the group of people that I was with, which was Jason from HippoServe, Jason Hughes, the other Jason H, just to confuse us, and Lisa Penn. Yep. And we found that there was a lot of fixing the DIYers kind of attempts where they were trying to save a pretty penny with lockdown. And Lisa's has started a hump day happy hour for like-minded digital world individuals.
Nice. Excellent stuff. And finally, Val?
Yeah, I had Charlotte, Vicky and Tony Jones in the room. And I think one of the things that's changed is that there is more written words being sent to people, more emails, etc., as people you used to get hold of by phone are no longer in the office. It also takes a little bit more time from Vicky's point of view. She's having to do all sorts of things and jump through all sorts of hoops just to see clients in terms of wearing PPE and making sure her room is ready every time they see somebody. So it takes her a lot longer to see each individual client. And as Tony was saying, for him, it's just things take so much longer, and it's keeping people engaged while your customers engaged while they're waiting for answers.
Yep.
Those are one of the things that have changed. But for everybody, yep, the major thing that's changed is we've had to become more disciplined, specifically from the first time that we had lockdown, because most people were doing all sorts of different things rather than getting on with the work.
Yep, I think that's a great point. So we're going to open the third rooms now. Tony's dropped out. I've had a quick message from Tony. His nurse has arrived. So yeah, in terms of that, so what's this, Don? Don, have you got to jump off as well? Have you?
Yeah. So I just had a couple of messages from my son. I've got to go and deal with that now.
Okay, no problem at all. These things happen. If you want to jump off, then Don, no problem at all. What we're going to do, we're going to mix things up a little bit, if we may. So apologies. This is the beauty of this kind of format, is that you have to kind of make it up as you go along. So I'll try to get as many people in as I can into different rooms. So Zoe, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Have you met Dean, Jason Hughes, and Vicky Harrison-Edwards yet?
I've met Dean and Vicky.
You met Dean and Vicky. In that case, then I'll put Michelle in that room. And what I'll do, I'll assign you to somebody else. Have you met? I'll tell you what, I'm going to surprise you.
There we go. Me, John, and Adam.
No, I'm not. Don't be silly. I'm not that. It's a case of
nobody is that cool.
Like that would be a
great trouble.
That's
no
an
way.
experience. That is.
Now, at the end of the day, I'm trying to look. Remember, Zoe's a visitor. I'm trying to make a good impression.
Yeah, she wants to come back.
We'll be on our best behaviour.
Are you kidding?
Okay.
We are epitomised professional.
Back. Sorry.
We epitomised professional.
Titans in our industries.
Titans. I like the phrase. Anyway, so Michelle. We've temporarily relinquished you of your hosting duties. So you can come back into the cheap seats. That'll be great. And so yeah, all the others are basically there. So right, okay. This may work, may not work. I haven't got a clue what's going to happen now. But you know what? I'm going to open the rooms in a second. I'm going to give you a question. This one is actually courtesy of Mr. Lander. In a breakfast the other week, he actually put in a absolute cracker of a question. I was, to be fair, I nearly fell off the chair. It did catch me off guard. So feel free to give him as much credit for this as you'd like. But it really is good. So the question is, in regards to your competitors, what worries you about what they're doing with their marketing? I think it's quite deep. he has a heart. He has a heart. He only won second place for it, but he's got. So anyway, I'm going to open the rooms.
That's a second place more than you, Sheldon.
How he's got rid of the
I've got to
background.
open the rooms now, if that's okay. So have fun. I'll see you all in 13 minutes. Anyway, ladies and gents, I mean, we are going to overrun slightly. I need to fire through this as quick as we can. If we can go to Val first. Val?
I had Paul, Lisa, Penn, and Zoe in my room, which was brilliant. Paul explained why he raised the question, and it is about negative SEO that can be put against your client, or your client not realizing that they're being affected disproportionately by that. And I think you should give Paul some time to talk to people about it, because I thought it was really interesting. Zoe, interestingly enough, is learning from her competitors, which is really good. So for her, it's a positive. And for Lisa, I think the biggest thing that we all face to a certain extent are our competitors saying they're doing one thing, but using other people to do their jobs for them, so therefore they can charge less. So using lower priced labor elsewhere in the world and not telling their clients.
Fair enough. No, that's fair enough. And we'll go to Viral next.
Thank you, Brett. I had Andrew, Jason, and Adam in my room. The general consensus was that a lot of our competitors have bigger budgets than us. That's what surprised us. And also, I heard the word shyster, which I haven't heard for a long time, which was because of all the fake gurus promising you the world.
Mm-hmm. Cool, excellent. Lisa?
I had Charlotte, John, and Sue in my room. It was really, really interesting, actually, because it was quite broad from we're really worried to not at all worried. John's competitors have kind of disappeared at the beginning of lockdown. He doesn't see anything from many of them at all. Sue and myself are both learning the social media side of it and learning what we need to do to get our messages out there. And Sue working for UU, it's just, there's a lot of noise out there, which there is with mine as well, in that you've got to get yourself out there in your particular niche. And Charlotte, obviously being in marketing, it was a little bit different for her. So she's revamped. She obviously keeps her eye on her competitors all the time. So they've revamped their image and they're now attracting more smaller businesses, which is obviously what they wanted, and that's working. So it was quite varied for our room.
Cool. Can you do me a favour, Lisa?
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry, we've got one more to go to. I was going to say, if you can keep going for another couple of seconds. No, it's okay. Don't worry. We've got Dean to go to. Sorry. Dean?
Oh, yeah, so we had Jason, Vicky and Michelle in our group, and then obviously your lovely self joined us further down the line to throw a spanner in the works. But before that happened, we were basically all saying that we're not particularly concerned regarding our competitors. And Michelle made a very good point, is if you can focus on what you're doing and doing what you are doing right to put yourself across, then you shouldn't be worrying about your competitors, really. But also just to echo a lot of the other points that people have already made.
Yep. Brilliant, fantastic. So Dean's learned the line now that if I go and cause disruption in a room, use the line. We found pretty much the same as everybody else. That's code for Brett's really cocked up the room, the train of thought, and we need to go from there. So, okay, because Dean's done that, I'm going to relegate him from actually running a room now. We don't run a democracy here. It's a case of that's how we do it. Unfortunately, because we have had a couple of people jump off, I am having to mix things up a little bit. So apologies if you are going to be in a room with people you have already met. But we are going to move on to the fourth and final question. There is going to be, I'd say, 13 minutes to discuss it. And it is just an elaboration on a question that we posted a couple of months ago. So I think at the start of December, I posed a question about what are you going to be doing in the new year? Most people said they'd be working on themselves. So as we're now coming towards the end of January, what have you actually been working on and how are you getting on with it? Now, the people who are leading the rooms are, like I say, changed a little bit. So Val, still yourself, Lisa Billingham, Michelle Coombs, if you can look after your room this time.
Question.
Oh, no.
I didn't write it down. I thought
No. Michelle, You have got the enviable task. We've got the dream team together.
We're not going to have an answer. I don't need a pen and paper.
You have got Adam, John, and Paul all in one room. So if you can just hear them, that'll be great.
I'm not even going there. We'll give you, yeah.
Just mute them, Michelle. Just mute them.
That's it. And Viral, and Viral, if you can carry on looking after your room. So, Michelle, the question was, in December, we asked what you're going to be doing in the new year. People said they're going to be working on themselves. So what are you actually doing and how are you getting on with it? Okay, I'm going to open the rooms. If anybody would like to say, can I go and just be a fly on the wall in that room with Michelle? You know what? You're braver than me. So anyway, I'm going to open the rooms. I'll see you all shortly. Right, we'll quickly wrap the session up now. Hopefully some people had some fun with that one. We'll go to Lisa's room first. Lisa?
Okay, so I've got the other Lisa, Andrew and Vicky in my room. And Lisa's was to get a bigger place. So she's put her property on the market. She's got 3 viewings arranged and they've had a massive declutter. She set goals with Michelle just in the beginning of January. Vicky has had her weights delivered. So she's now starting to use her weights because obviously we can't get out to the gym. Andrew's is more business related because he's expanding. They've set up new services and expanding into East Africa. Mine is about looking at my business from a fresh pair of eyes and doing more reading and researching into the book. And also, none of us set New Year's resolutions. And the general opinion in the room was that we don't do it because you don't stick to it. But it was more about setting realistic goals and actually achieving them, which we're all on our way to doing.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Okay. So we'll go to Viral next.
Thank you, Brett. I had Dean, Charlotte, and Jason in my room. More of the same of what Lisa was saying, but the main thing we hit upon was accountability and how to work with accountability. And I think Dean has a bit of an epiphany. He set a goal. I'm not going to tell you what it is because that's between him and Charlotte. And if he doesn't do it, he's giving Charlotte a free training session.
Nice, excellent. I like how you say epiphany with your clock in the background looking like it's all angelic like. I think that's like something inspired. If you get some wings for next time, that'd be even better. Like, I think that'd be great. We'll go to Val next.
Zoe, Sue, and Jason in my group. And I think everybody has, in terms of what they've changed, they've become more disciplined. They're looking at what they're doing and making sure they're getting a return from it, because there's no point in doing something that isn't giving you a return. So are you doing stuff that's productive? But everybody has been doing something on their own personal health. So doing more exercise, whether it be walking, yoga, eating more healthily. I haven't got that one yet. I'm working on that one. But the ladies are eating far more healthily than I am. And Jason was saying that he spent far too much time in his business to begin with, but now understands that there needs to be a balance between the amount of time he's working and doing other things. So that was it.
Brilliant, fantastic. And so, okay, so we have to now go to Michelle's room.
Well,
Michelle's room?
In our room, so what everybody else said goes. Can I get away with that this time, Brett?
No.
You did say we could use it as a standard. So we were talking about all kinds of things, as you can well imagine, with that gang of people in the same room. But generally,
we out that Brett joined us as well.
Yeah,
I did join as the 4th musketeer, since I'm probably the biggest troublemaker out of the lot. Yeah, so it's only right I went in there.
Yeah, so we were just keeping our spirits high and enjoying life, and we just carried on practicing that.
That's pretty much how it worked. It's a case of it was really, really great. And to be honest, it's a case of Michelle's lying completely because we put the world to rights. However, none of it can be mentioned for legal reasons. So, ladies and gentlemen,
professional. Stop painting us in a bad light.
I'm just being honest.
Michelle, were we professional?
We'll move on.
Because he was doing something else.
No, we were very professional. However, we didn't discuss the topic in any way, shape, or form. So, so off the back of that, thank you very much for attending. Apologies for overrunning. moving forward, what we're going to be doing is adding an extra 15 minutes to the meeting. So we won't be changing anything as such. We'll just be telling people we'll be finishing a little bit later than what we actually say originally. So therefore, we won't be overrunning anymore. So hopefully you've all enjoyed the session, and hopefully you've all started engaging with other people. The real crux of this is, and the real benefit of this, I'm sure people who've got regulars on here will know, is that it's about the follow-up now. You get all engaged with people. You've talked about business. You've talked about who you are, but also you've talked about just stuff like you would have done normally face to face. If we'd met each other in a room, we'll be talking about all manner of things apart from business and who we are, etc. So don't forget to follow up. And if there are people you haven't met, make sure you haven't got the contact details. Make sure you follow up, get one-to-ones in, and work from there. So hopefully everybody's enjoyed it. Has everybody enjoyed it?
Yeah, brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah. Jason isn't very sure.
Brett, I sorted the QR thing.
Have you? Oh, brilliant.
Forgot to turn my camera on.
Okay.
Mine didn't work, so I still need it emailed, please. And I need all the past ones emailed as well, because I've got none.
I can't. I'll tell you. We record it. I can't tell you how to get more QR codes, but it might have been the same one.
Ah, okay.
only since October. So
that'll do.
So just to finish the meeting, just go to the couple of visitors on here just to say, make sure that you have enjoyed and we haven't put you off too much. Jason, did you enjoy it?
Yes, I did. Thank you very much for the invite.
Was it what I promised?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was. No, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And Zoe, did you enjoy yourself?
Yes, it's been really good. Thank you.
And did you enjoy it? And what did you find it useful?
Yeah, definitely. It was what you said it was going to be, and it's just nice to meet new people.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Everybody else, you've obviously got all my details. I'm going to close the meeting now. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll be seeing you next week. So, by the way, next week, there's only 2 meetings on. I think we've got a breakfast and we've got the BSO quiz. So that's all we're running next week. So you have the links for it. Feel free to drop in. But the quiz is one with a difference. So if you are bored and there's nothing on the telly, feel free to come along. Okay, ladies and gents, thanks very much. And I shall see you all soon. Cheers.
Thanks, Brett. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.